People are looking at and reviewing. They spent the past 5 days really kind of breaking down the schedule, looking at the Detroit Lions and what their how their role is, what they look like as a team now, what their schedule looks like, and how that factors into the potential success of the team. Many people are looking at that tough stretch after the bye week, looking at the end of the year. Really to start the subject and the topic, most people understand that road schedule is historically hard. It's tough. You're playing over 500 teams. I love and respect the fans that are like, Doc, calm down, relax. The team went 8-0 on the road last year. They're road warriors. But I push back a little bit and say, yeah, they weren't playing Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes, and they weren't playing them in primetime on the road. And so there's some things that make it so that you can be a little bit realistic here. That's why I have them at 11-6. I do see an uptick in losses, but the team's still playing well. But some people, are looking at the division and wondering, is it time now for a seismic shift? Could the rival Bears, Packers, Vikings step up? But one former Packers linebacker went on a great popular podcast and said, no, pump the brakes. Everyone that's hating, calm down. The Detroit Lions are still the kings of the North. They run the division, and he had them winning the NFC North in 2025. What did you make of Clay Matthews and what he said on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast?
Yeah, I mean, this is a little surprising to see a Packer who made a living for, I believe, 10 seasons just going after teams like the Lions and the NFC North and was a very good player in his time. Go out and say, hey, we're going to pick the Lions to win the division here. And I think that that's part of, his journey from being a competitor to now being on the broadcasting and media side of things, where he sees it a little bit more neutrally as an observer as opposed to being a competitor in between the lines and just trying to go out there and get the opponent. So, Clay Matthews sees the Lions. And I think the argument that he made with the Lions having that it factor and that somebody's got to go out and dethrone them, I think that's a really testament to his competitive mindset because, you've got the other hosts kind of giving him, the Bears or the Packers. But he's like, yeah, but somebody's got to dethrone the Lions. And that's not an exact quote, but the way he put it was the Lions have the mantle right now. They have the trophy. They're two-time defending champions. Somebody has to beat them and take it from them. And when you look at the Lions roster, that's a good argument because they do have a lot of those key pieces coming back. And obviously, there's some areas like the secondary where they're going to need to be marginally better, is particularly at the cornerback position, but they address that. If they find the edge rusher, then that's another big step they'll take. So we'll see. I think that the Lions are still in a very good spot. Their roster is still very good. And, Clay Matthews sees it very neutrally now as a former Packer. And I think that was a really interesting observation from him. I also had some good things to say about the Vikings and the Bears and the Packers. But right now, his top dog is the Detroit Lions.